Only See Strangers, Chapter 12. Freak Show. You're obviously not taking your medications, so there's no alternative, Casey. We need to detain you under the Mental Health Act. I snort. It feels like I'm making ape noises. My rib cage is contracting, but no sound is escaping. Sally and Mel from the home treatment team are standing in my front room with their backs to the window. Their faces blend in with the grey sky visible through the gap in the curtains. More words float in my direction, but they are muffled by the clouds. There have been signs. Care staff making hints that I'm talking at them, not with them. Over them, not to them. Professionals call it pressured speech, but only amongst themselves as if it's some kind of big fucking secret. My irritation has been increasing, and lately there's been explosions every 5 minutes. What they don't get is that I've got one fuck of a lot to do. I'm learning every single jazz standard, alongside Beethoven's Fifth Symphony in its entirety, and every blues, rock and roll, ragtime, boogie woogie, samba, reggae, pop, indie, indefinable I've ever heard of my life. And get this, I'm doing it all on my wooden xylophone, and I've hooked up to the radio, so I've got this mind-blowing resonance, you know. And every now and then I throw in some Irishy, folky, jiggy stuff on my guitar, and I've got this whole new genre. I'm writing tons of songs and getting ideas for lyrics from the piles of books and papers all over the floor. I have to spill them like a deck of cards to get from chair to desk to bed, and the title always screams out at me. I can't really get in bed because piles more books, magazines, an old dismantled telly, and other boxes of crap are securing my duvet to the mattress. The plus side is I'm getting more and more well read. I've done the first lines of tons of mind-blowing page turners and some classics, and get that everyone has this code which tells me I have to read what I have to read next. I've nailed it down to the first 2 or 3 words now, so no need to finish a sentence or anything. I'm just straight to the next title. It's like that when the idiots interrupted me, I had picked up 3 books and was mid-sentence of each of them till they ruined it, innit? Sit down, Casey, will you? I can't because my legs have turned into pogo sticks and I'm springing from them upside down into a one pinky finger stand. We need to talk to you because Dr. Turner's, she wants to come over later. She wants to do a Mental Health Act assessment later. So I've got time to leg it before they turn up with the crew. Mac, here boy. I leap and bound towards the front door with Mackenzie at my heels. He's leaping and bounding too, and I turn and do the magic salute with my knuckles to ward them off long enough to give us a chance to get away. When I open the front door, Dr. Turner is facing me. There's a middle-aged male, no doubt shrink behind her, another shrink behind her, and what I guess is a female social worker. A couple of coppers are trying to look like accidental wallpaper. Can we come in? What they really mean is we can come in. I sigh and let them in. I can only use one magic signal an hour, so I need to play for time. They go into the front room and stand like lemons that need squeezing. Dr. Turner has her stupid case and file which she places on the floor. We're here because Derek's been a bit worried about you. Well, I've been worried about him lately. He's a useless dick for a CPM, one that does F all to support you when he perceives you as well, and then makes a song and dance about it when he perceives otherwise. Yeah, well, do you feel you're well at the moment? Dr. Turner's, has got this exaggerated concern on her face. The correct answer to this standard mental health question is, no, miss, please, miss, I'm very ill. That way they will think you have insight. I miss the moment. Well, I'm working on some really important stuff, so I need to kind of get on with it now. Really? What kind of stuff? Without taking her eyes off me, Dr. Turner reaches down and retrieves a magnifying glass from her case. On mental masturbation, Dr. Turner raises her eyebrows and holds the magnifying glass out in front of her. Her nose looks distorted through it. I'm reminded of Pinocchio. I burst out laughing. The 2 doctors pass a confirmatory glance between them. My laughter is more confirmation that they can pat themselves on the back, believing they're making the right decision. What they don't understand is that at the moment I'm ahead of them time-wise. Last week I got closer and closer to mental orgasm. I catapulted myself into the future, and it was like the rush from 1,000 hits. I met some white shimmering beings who had colonised the earth. They gave me special powers to use when I returned to the 21st century, and since then I've been looping in and out of the future so that the present keeps repeating itself. It's like Groundhog Day. I got some inspiration from the future too, so I'm adding some movements to Beethoven's Fifth Symphony to give it more of a boogie jazz punk reggae blues fluid blues choose rock and roll play it again. Sam feels it works like shit hot sand, but I've got the timing line to rise with the moon and full on every other star over this side of over the galaxy. And are you taking your medication? And even further, like Andromeda, Retica, Dog Star, Faster, and Light Faster, and Splits, 100 planets, 180,000, 180,000 over Mars, 6 point recurring, warp down, housing, effects, party, and effects space. I'm afraid you're not making much sense, Casey. We had a call from a member of the public yesterday. Are you listening? She was worried. They were worried about his wife. This member of the public was worried. Apparently, she uses a wheelchair. Member of the public. Oh, I know who they're on about. Yeah. I was practicing my powers in the street yesterday, the ones I got given in the future, to get people to do anything they want. I tried it on this old dear in a wheelchair. I just shouted, "Ha! See! Who!" and did a karate move. She looked at me funny, though. "I don't do karate, sweetheart." "It's not karate, it's magic. I can make you walk. I'm from the future." That was pushing it a bit, because I've only made a few visits there. Then all I did was walk towards her in the best of intentions so I could help her out of her wheelchair, and I was going to donate it to the nearest charity shop. On her behalf, that goes without saying. But this bloke jumps in between us and pushes me back. "What are you doing?" "I'm helping her to walk. What do you think?" "She's a paraplegic, you idiot." He goes and pushes the wheelchair out of my reach. "Oh no, I've leave her alone or I'll call the police, right?" He must have done then. "Casey?" "Yeah." "Why were you shouting at a woman in a wheelchair?" "What? I wasn't. What do you mean? I was just using my powers. I was helping her to walk." "What powers? Do you think you're God?" "No, I've been to the future. These amazing white shimmering bins showed me how to harness billions of years of instant flour in your hands, and your flour in your hands, and shower hot shade to the cooking when you're open, and something. I'm not sure you're very well at the moment, Casey. I'd like you to come into the ward for a few days just to see if we can get you back on the right meds. They mean a few months, years. I try giving the magic salute with my knuckle again, but it doesn't work. The hour is not up yet." "What does that mean, Casey?" "What? What's what? That sign you're making?" "I'm not going into that dump." "Well, we've got no choice then." "You do. You could leave me alone." "We'll have to detain you." Before they turned up, I was fine. On it, playing my new repertoire brilliantly like a pro, breaking fresh ground, had some seriously unusual harmonies going and mind-bending dissonance. I brought the keyboard in, my fingers were set free, roaming all over the keys like naked explorers. I was killing it, and then a loud knocking at the door made me jump and fucked up the frequencies. When there had been that super cool bit of dissonance, I was clashing, wrong chords. My hands crashed down on the keys, more knocking. Ah! I crashed down on the keys again, and there was just this horrendous jarring noise. I'd gone to the window then and pulled the curtain back slightly. Sally and Mel from the home treatment team were stood at the main door downstairs. I debated whether to ignore them, but their jaws were dropped open, wowed by my amazing sounds, which must have drifted through the closed window and down to the ground floor. They'd heard me, knew I was in. I pushed the buzzer to let them in. The clattering of footsteps on the stairs banged through my skull. They walked straight through to the front room. "You're obviously not taking your medications. There's no alternative. We need to detain you under the Mental Health Act. Mental Health Act. Mental Health Act. Mental Health Act." Chapter 13. Beanie. As soon as I get to my room, it clicks that something is missing. After a few minutes, I know what it is. Beanie. I don't leave him behind. That's not what I do. Where I go, he goes. If not, I don't go. I can hear voices outside on the road, a car or two. I've got no Poxy Smart device on me, and I'm relieved because those bastards demand constant attention, stealing you away from wherever you are. I've got my pay as you go with me, but it's not like anyone's going to bother calling me, and I don't do texts anymore, not after what happened. There won't be anyone when I get home either, to ask me how things turn out, how I coped, what the verdict was. There will just be wolf-like howls saying, "I'm here, she's not." That's me for the last 30 years. No one notices when I don't turn up for my sick days. No one is waiting for me at home when I return after another day of being nowhere with nobody. The day-to-day reality for the excluded, the reclusive, and all the lonely people out there is an invisible one. No one is bothered when we wake up, whether we wake up in the morning or when we can't sleep at night, all at night. No one stops or sticks around. It's all fleeting. We don't exist. It's not like I don't reach out, say good morning to people, but I get it wrong because I'm always rooted on there being another loner wandering about somewhere. One of them rare bods who you can discuss deep shit with. Stuff outside of the weather or the breed and personality of Max, Monty or Caesar. That's why I have a 99% failure rate. Last year on my walks with Beanie, I began to notice that on average only about 50% of people either replied or nodded when I greeted them with a good morning. I had to double check my watch more than once just to make sure it was morning. I worked out what the odds would be that everyone in the 50% who didn't respond was deaf or hard of hearing. They were remote. Something like 9 to 1 chance they would all have heard me. I figured most people would have understood the words good morning, but I threw out the odd bonjour, buenos dias, or salam alaikum, or even good morning just in case. I tried cutting out some syllables to simplify things, made it just hi. It wouldn't have been fair to use, do you think perpetual motion machines will be designed by an imaginary intelligence Iborg in the post-AI world? I looked at other possibilities then. Bods just don't like the look of me, not even pet-worthy. Female body but not proper woman, tangled messy hair, skinny and scruffy, missing teeth, trousers slipping down, belt hanging off, filthy trainers with laces undone. And then I got that light bulb moment. I had forgotten the rules of contact sport. I'd been diving straight in with a roundhouse kick every time. That's why I was being blanked. I'd forgotten to bow first. One day, I seriously used the words good morning 10 times in a row, and not one person replied. One woman even reined her dog in urgently, protecting him from my verbal assault. A man looked me up and down as if he was a tailor estimating my inside leg. A couple speeded up, super stuck together in fight or flight mode. When I got home, I broke down in tears. I don't know if it's true that in space no one can hear you scream, but I do know, only too well, that on Earth no one can hear you cry. I search around the room for my bag, but it's not there. Wanker, you left it there. I'm out the door and back down and have to get past some bodies before I clock it still by the chair. As I grab it, there are looks again, from the Latin and his date. Then there are more daggers from another couple when I have to steer clear around them to get back to the stairs. I turn around to give them all the venom I can muster, but it falls flat when I trip on the stairs and have to fumble around for my key. I've got that urge to go now, but I've hit the floor before I can make it to the Kazi. Tears are pumping out of me, so I have to crawl on my hands and knees through the door to the bathroom. I reach for some tissue paper, but miss and give up, collapsing with my face on the vinyl floor tiling. It feels familiar, the same as every hard surface I've ever been acquainted with. Floors are pretty loyal friends. They don't run away when you roll around on them, despite the fact they've got a front row seat to the real, raw you. My limbs are stretching and twisting and clawing and digging. Jesus, why the fuck? What the fuck? Jesus fucking hell, why do I have to fucking do this? I don't fucking know, arsehole. Jesus shit, why the fuck does it always have to be like this? I don't know, do I, you fucking moron? Shut it, will you? For fuck's sake, why am I such a total screw-up? 'Cause you are, get used to it, dickhead, you useless prick, shit-faced wanker, fuck you. I'm flat on my back now. I was supposed to have left this me behind. My muscles have turned into deserters, each one doing its own thing. I know by now that issuing orders won't work. They'll just go rigor mortis, form a picket line. No point in sending nerve signals out to my limbs anymore. I do have a solution to my catatonic states. I discovered it only after I gave up and finally decided to never bother moving again. After a few minutes of that decision, I felt one of my finger joints making a little twitch. That taught me probably the most valuable lesson I have ever learned. Lay off the steering. Take a back seat. Be like one of those helicopter seeds, hitching a lift on the air. It's a shame it took me about 40 years to register that. But anyway, I'm on it nowadays. At least, mostly. I don't get stuck rigid for long anymore. It's indecision. That's what catatonia is. A shrink told me once that there's a third state between fight and flight, and it's called freeze. You've turned to stone because you can't decide. And I've forgotten what that choice was. The shrink solution was Valium. He hadn't had time for discussing helicopter seeds. He had a point though. Drugs are shit hot at making difficult decisions. I let go, stretched out on the floor, and let myself be. I don't want to go back there, to those places. I never want to go back there.